Welcome back, and we've said a lot about tennis and some other sports, but now we're in a segment that we want to talk about the West African University Games, and we have someone in the house to help us put some perspective into all of that. Of late, Port Harcourt at the University of Port Harcourt has been in the news for the right reasons, talking about the West African University Games. We have with us the head of media and publicity for the West African University Games, Williams Modi. Williams Modi, it's good to have you join us this morning.
Thank you for having me, and welcome to your viewers.
All right, let's talk about this West African University Games. It prides itself as a competition that helps to develop athletes and, give West African athletes an opportunity to get their time under the sun, and also discover more athletes for the sub-region. Over the years, you feel that it has lived up to that billing?
It actually has. The West African University Games were launched at the University of Ibadan in 1965. That's 63 years ago.
All right.
And then just 60 universities participated at the time. And University of Ibadan hosted, and we had in soccer, we had Lagos, Ife, and of course ABU. They participated. The only university that came from outside was the University of Lagos in Accra, Ghana. Okay. That was 6. Then, since then, they've gone on, and it's to their credit that they've been able to keep the games alive.
Over these years? Over
these years. But in 1975, the games were now kind of unofficially redesignated as ECOWAS Student Games, because ECOWAS was founded in 1975. And so, since then, more universities have participated. In Nigeria, we have 161 universities officially now and counting. All over the sub-region of West Africa have more universities, and so what you have is that the essence of the games to bridge regional borders, especially the West African sub-regional borders, and then to bring all the young people in West Africa together on the platform of university sports, and they've done very well. Some of the people who, some of the athletes who participated have gone on to represent Nigeria and the other West African countries.
All right.
And so we have 16 West African countries that are going to be participating.
And all of the countries send universities?
Unfortunately, not all of them send, but most of them do send athletes. So I want to be, well, it's usually dominated by Nigerian universities. You have 161 universities right now. You can be sure that Nigerian
universities always have a good spread.
Yes, for this one, 85 universities have confirmed participation.
Okay.
And then you have, from 16 West African countries, you have 13 days of non-stop, heart-stopping competition in the University of Port Harcourt. Why do I say that? We are 6 times Nigerian University Games champion, back to back to back, if that's in any English like that. And then we are 3 times back to back NUGA champions. We are reigning champions of NUGA and reigning champions of world. We can't ask for a better venue than University of Port Harcourt. World-class facilities. We have 10-lane Olympic-size standard swimming pool. And so when you put all this configuration together, you find out that the University of Port Harcourt was natural host for the games. We have experience. In 1988, we hosted the first NUGA Games. And then we came 12th at the time.
All right.
And about 2002, we came 2nd. Okay. And then we said we'll never take 2nd again. Since then, we hosted the second one in 2004.
Okay.
We came around and we took 1st by a pole position. And we've never looked back since then. Then we added West African sub-region to our conquest. We are looking for Africa.
Let me ask you, I know my colleague has a question to ask, but let me ask you something that's very interesting. You're expecting over 5,000 athletes.
5,000 athletes,
1,000
5,000 athletes, 400 officials, and then 500 technical officials.
And the city of Port Harcourt is ready?
Yes, 400 coaches, 400 coaches and 500 officials. The city of Port Harcourt, I mean University of Port Harcourt.
All right.
We have unlimited capacity to hold this game. We hosted NUGA Game 2004, and we did spectacularly well. Nobody had beaten our record.
Okay.
I'm here to
blow the trumpet.
To gloat over my record. So kindly pardon my immodesty. I'm a little bit immodest on this occasion.
Yeah, that was 2004 that you talked about. Was the last time Port Harcourt hosted.
Yes,
right now, we're looking at so many sports right now. You're having athletics, badminton, basketball, chess, cricket, football, hockey, judo, squash, tennis, handball, swimming, table tennis, taekwondo, volleyball, Scrabble. It's huge.
16 games
yeah.
minus cricket. Unfortunately, what I apologize to University of Nigeria and Soccer, they are very good at cricket. They are
Okay,
watching
no cricket.
I apologize to them, there will be no cricket.
There will be no cricket this
year,
time
yes.
out.
This time around. Well,
Yes.
looking at all those sports, I mean, the last time you said you guys hosted was 2004.
Yes.
I mean, these facilities are they still there, ready, everything?
That is
Was
it.
Football pitch and all that.
In 2004, we went out and put up world-class facilities. Professor Oshodin was the president of NUGA at the time. When they came to University of Port Harcourt, they stopped breathing for a while. And what they saw state-of-the-art facilities. And what we did after the games, because the problem of Nigeria is post-event management of facilities. And so we anticipated that. We set up a sports council management committee headed by a professor. And he's retired, another professor has taken over. So those the facilities we use, they are still in the same state they were when we hosted the games. And we made sure people, so some of the league games, I mean the NFF league games are played there. That's to tell you.
Do you have an idea about the composition? I know it's the breakdown, but the composition, universities from this country, universities, so we can have an idea about the spread. But like you said, I know it's going to be dominated by
most
Nigerian
universities will come from Nigeria. Ghana will be next in terms of participation. Burkina Faso will be next. And by the way, we are expecting that Morocco will send observers. You know, Morocco have been struggling to
join
break into the
ECOWAS.
I don't know why, but I'm told they might likely send participants, observers, sorry. So that is... you know, if you go to West African sub-region, you find that most of these countries don't seem to have many universities as we have here. So if a country from another West African country sends about 2 or 3 universities, that is a record.
It's a record. I mean, we're looking at, I was going through the history. I know that looking at the countries that have participated in all, 14 countries in all. I mean, that's historically.
Yes.
Now, well, Cape Verde, Gambia, and Mauritania are some of these countries that have never been part of it.
Exactly.
Is there a reason for that?
No, I can't speak for them. I don't know any reason for that, but the fact is it takes quite some logistics to
put it together.
Train athletes, prepare them, move them to the location where the games are holding, and then take them back. Some countries don't seem to be ready for that kind of stress, but I'm sure that in time, in the times to come in future, they're going to see the beauty of the games. They have to bring young people together in West African sub-region, come to do cultural exchange, understanding, friendship, and then the spirit of competition, fair competition and fair victory, humility in victory. These qualities of WAU and the NUGA are the kind of qualities I'm sure no country can ignore.
Let me ask you an interesting thing that came to my mind as I was looking at all of this. Looking at logistics and some other issues, integration, a lot of the things you've talked about.
Yes.
It's language a barrier, you know, maybe teams, countries, universities from francophone countries, or people who don't speak both?
No, there's a simultaneous interpretation from English to French, French to English. It's important that we get more Nigerians to begin to speak French. That's very important. And get more people who speak French to speak English. But there's this...
you also have some countries that don't speak both.
Well,
maybe Cape Verde.
We do Cape Verde and all that, but you know, English and French, the major languages of the West African sub-region, and I hope that more of Nigerian universities, Nigerian secondary schools, Nigerian primary schools, and pre-primary foundational education should focus on French so we can interact better. Sports is good, but language appears to be better.
Let me ask you something. There's people who want to participate, people in the university complain about when it comes to sports.
Yes.
The university calendar. Those universities who are going to let their athletes come, is there anything that they do for the athletes in terms of the calendar, in terms of anything that ensures that it doesn't affect their studies? Because those athletes usually say you are told to choose between your education and sports.
No, the West African universities game, just like NUGA, they have a synergized timetable, and that's why you have membership of the executive committee from most of the West African countries, and so the universities they factor it into their program and ensure that between September and November, that will be a window that people will not be in school, and so they all come around. That has never been a problem. It could be a problem to 1 or 2 countries in the sub-region, but I'm sure, broadly speaking, most of them do buy into the game. They factor the games into their academic calendar.
Okay, it's 17 days to the tournament starting, right? How ready is Port Harcourt right now?
We were ready since 2004.
Wow.
I like that because I mean it's regarded as the Olympic Games of West African students.
It is.
So it's big, it's huge. I mean we're
It's
going to be
huge,
having
yes.
elite athletes, more like I mean some athletes that are already competing at the biggest stage. I mean I know Joy Udogibe, for instance, she was at the African Senior Athletics Championship. She's a student of Unilag, and of course Unilag will definitely part of it. Now these athletes, I mean, that are coming there. How's it going to be?
Well, we have facilities. Remember, it's a university. We're talking about university games. We're not talking about Olympic games. We're not talking about Commonwealth games. It's a university games. It's on the West African sub-region, and whatever are the limitations that West Africans have will play out here. But I can tell you from our experience as participants and hosts and champions, we have made adequate preparations based on our experience in 1988 and 2004, and our participation in 6 and the victories in 6 consecutive games and 3 Nuga games, and 6 Nuga games and 3 Wahoo games. We are almost certain that we will.
All right.
Okay,
just for sake of clarity, and maybe you help us confirm, these are the list of events.
Minus cricket.
Minus cricket.
Yes.
So everything here.
Everything there's on offer. 16 games for male and female.
Different categories.
Different categories, yes.
That's huge. I mean, swimming, you talked about the swimming pool that you guys have. Now, let's talk about athletics, the track.
I don't think they have the swimming pool in the National Stadium in Abuja.
Okay.
I don't think they have that.
That's the kind of. Now, let's talk about the track, the athletics. You know, that is really key because athletics usually in events like this
It's
more like the king
it's the king of
it,
all
yes.
games, yes.
So, how is the track like? I mean, the condition and everything.
Fantastic tracks. You know, one thing that's happening that we are not going to be refurbishing things. You know, with the problem, a gentleman says that part of how you know about the systemic failure is when you begin to paint a building that the visitor is coming to your house, you begin to cut grass and all that. That's how you know that the place is failing. And people begin to paint curbs and all that to get ready to host people. Yes. We made sure, because we had ambition to host these games, and so we made sure that our facilities are state of the art, and they are constantly in use. You know, some universities finished or some other countries finished, they locked up everything. No, they are in use. Our swimming pool is there for students and for visitors from outside. If you come to University of Port Harcourt on a Saturday morning, the entire Port Harcourt is there. People are doing. By the way, we have the only high performance center in West Africa. Is there? I'm sure you know about it. This in Afro Olympics. They are in the University of Port Harcourt. We can ask for more. We have support from all over the place. Nigerian Olympic Commission, they are with us there. And then we train athletes all the time, not just University of Port Harcourt athletes, athletes from all over. They come there to train at the High Performance Center. There is no way such a university cannot be ready to hit the ground speeding, not just running.
Okay, before we wrap up this segment now, what's going to be different that Port Harcourt will be offering all the students that come in?
Memorable games village experience. Not exactly the type you saw in Russia. That's a high-tech games village. But you will see a Port Harcourt version of the games village. You see Star Parade. I hope you know that Nollywood, 70% of those who ply their trade at Nollywood are trained in the University of Port Harcourt. Name them Sam Dede, this Belgica Cebu, all of them, they are all there. They are all going to come for Star Parade. Okay. We are contacting them. And then apart from that, you have the trademark Niger Delta hospitality. All right. And then if you want to talk about, you know, when people are coming to Port Harcourt, they ask you, oh, are you still in Port Harcourt? I go to the airport. Are you still in Port Harcourt? We hear about insecurity. That's a media hype. We are still in Port Harcourt. We move around. We go all over the place. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Williams Modi, Head Media and Publicity for the West African University Games. We want to thank you for your time on the show. And thank you for filling us in with all of those things about the games. And we wish you all the best in your endeavor. We've been talking about the West African University Games. We need to go on a break now. When we return, there's still so much for you on Sports This Morning. Join us again.